Greetings to you, ladies and gentlemen of the press. My name is Baptiste, Parliamentary Representative for Vieux-Fort North, spokesman for agriculture, fisheries, food production, and health for the opposition in the Parliament of St. Lucia, and also the chairman of the St. Lucia Labour Party. My focus today will be on the St. Jude Hospital and other health issues in general. Since the June 2016 general election, the government of the United Workers' Party has consistently fed St. Lucians with what I describe as confusing, inconsistent, and incoherent information on their policies. Their actions in the crucial health sector are also very disturbing. The St. Jude issue is a specific one which clearly indicates the government's inconsistent, confusing, and incoherent statements. The pronouncements and actions of the Minister for Health, Senator Mary Isaac, Minister Guy Joseph, and the Prime Minister on St. Jude Hospital have left St. Lucians with many more questions and serious concerns. Let us follow up on some of the decisions and statements of the officials of the UWP government for a moment. During the week of June 29, 2017, the Prime Minister, along with Minister Guy Joseph, toured the St. Jude Hospital at the George Odlum Stadium and said the following, and I quote, "There was a report that has been done on the way forward. I know that there's been a meeting with the St. Jude board. There is now a meeting with the Ministry of Finance in terms of how quickly we can get stuff started up again so we can try to get into the new hospital as quickly as possible. Certainly, we are not talking about a year. Idealistically, we would like to move in by the end of this year, but I think the minister is uncomfortable at this point of making a commitment. But certainly no less than 1 year, we should be in that facility, and if we can get it even quicker, we will," unquote. So that was the Prime Minister in June of 2017. By August of 2017, to be exact, Wednesday, August 9th, the morgue with other amenities were handed over to the St. Jude Hospital Board, headed by Dr. Ulrich Mondesi. Minister for Health and Wellness, Senator Honorable Mary Isaac, along with the Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Health and Wellness, Mr. Felix Sandhill, joined the Board of Directors and Management team of St. Jude Hospital for the handover and a walkthrough of the facility. Following the walkthrough, the group met at the George Odlum Stadium to discuss the way forward for the morgue. Mr. Sandhill stated that the plan is to have the facility operational in short order. The morgue, along with the ambulance and security monitoring buildings, were constructed by the United Nations Office for Project Services, UNOPS, with financing from the government of Mexico. The keys and operational manuals for the morgue were handed over to the government of St. Lucia by UNOPS after the building was retrofitted. The morgue building is located at the original site of St. Jude Hospital. The facility is fully equipped and also contains water and electricity. I want you, ladies and gentlemen of the press, to recall that the ceremony at which the government accepted the Mexican-funded part of St. Jude Hospital took place in early November of 2016. At that ceremony, Honorable Guy Joseph acknowledged that part of the hospital was not funded at the time. He said at the ceremony, and I quote, and we are speaking about the ceremony of early November 2016, when the morgue and the other facilities funded by the Mexicans were handed over to the government. Here is what Honorable Guy Joseph said, and I quote, "Today we are here to mark the handing over of the ambulance facility and the morgue. But the reality is, this component of the hospital was not funded at the time when they were engaged, and we are happy that they came on board. They may have been the last set of persons to come on board, but the first to deliver, unquote. The Prime Minister also sang praises to the Mexicans and their generosity, in particular the external lighting with renewable energy options when the hospital is completed. So, ladies and gentlemen, in June of 2017, as I indicated, the Prime Minister, based on all the current information and based on all of the investigations by his government, indicated that his government's intention was to deliver the hospital by December of 2017, which is really next month. 1 year earlier, in November of 2016, the government of St. Lucia accepted the Mexican-funded part of the hospital. They sang praises to the Mexican government. They accepted that the lighting will be placed as soon as the hospital is completed. In August of 2017, the same government handed over that completed section of the hospital to the board headed by Dr. Mondesi. But by September of 2017, September 15th, 2017, the Minister for Health announced the possible demolition of the hospital. So for us, some fundamental questions remain. Why did the government of St. Lucia accept in such glowing terms the gift of the Mexicans when it is now obvious that discussions were being held on the possible demolition of the almost completed St. Jude Hospital? Number two, what was the rationale and what were the reasons for handing over the completed section of the hospital to the newly appointed board if the intentions, based on recent statements, were to possibly discontinue the use of the reconstructed hospital for its original purpose? It is clear to the St. Lucia Labour Party and St. Lucians that mixed messages are being developed and disseminated to deliberately confuse the people about the real intentions of the UWP government where St. Jude is concerned. In July of 2016, the government stopped reconstruction activities at St. Jude. By September 1st, 2016, Minister Guy Joseph admitted, after being questioned, that an audit of $800,000 or thereabout, in his own words, was being spent to carry out an audit. He promised to release the findings to the public, and both he and the Prime Minister have hinted and promised that, and I quote, people will pay. However, by September and October 2017, statements by the Prime Minister and Minister indicate the possible repurposing of the St. Jude Hospital. The St. Lucia Labour Party in government, despite the challenges of financing, worked tirelessly up to the elections to complete the St. Jude Hospital and to return it to the people of St. Lucia. The St. Lucia Labour Party always intended to return the hospital to its original use. The UWP government came into office in June of 2016 and stopped work on the hospital in July of 2016. The explanations have been confusing and their statements change with every passing week. We read from the ministers of repurposing the hospital with no clear indication of the intentions of the government. We will therefore, as a party, continue to join with all St. Lucians to press the government to continue to work on completing the St. Jude Hospital and to commission the facility as soon as practicable. In other developments in the health sector, the St. Lucia Labour Party is also very concerned about the government's intentions for the Owen King EU Hospital. The Prime Minister and Minister for Health need to state clearly the intentions of the government in relation to private interests in the management of our hospitals. Recent statements coming after trips made by the Prime Minister reveal that the government is indeed considering the entry of private interests in the management of our public health facilities. After 17 months or 68 weeks of dialysis treatment for many St. Lucians, the UWP and the Prime Minister have not delivered to St. Lucians the many dialysis machines which the Prime Minister, then leader of the United Workers' Party, before the elections claimed was stored away and deliberately not being used by the St. Lucia Labour Party. The discussions on the new diabetes research proposals in St. Lucia have obviously stalled and not continued. The St. Lucia Labour Party government worked purposefully to place our health facilities and systems on a progressive path of development. Work was done successfully on the Dennery Hospital, which was damaged by the hurricane. The Tirochet, Miku, Laguerre, Castries, Entripo, Anitangs, Babuno health centers, all of these health centers were repaired. Fire destroyed the Larishus Health Center in Dennery, and over $300,000 was budgeted and allocated for repairs. To date, this government has not continued any work on that facility. We ask the government of the United Workers' Party to state clearly its policy on healthcare in St. Lucia. We ask the Minister for Health to stop confusing the people of St. Lucia. We ask, for the sake of St. Lucia's health, for the sake of our dialysis patients, for the sake of all of St. Lucia who use the St. Jude Hospital, that the government makes its position clear, and the St. Lucia Labour Party, as the first deputy of the Labour Party indicated a while ago, Honorable Alva Baptiste, will join St. Lucians and will lead a protest march on the 26th of November in the south of the island, starting at the Viewfort Comprehensive Secondary School in Larishus from 2 o'clock, leading to the site near the original St. Jude Hospital, and ending with a rally which will be addressed by various speakers. We are resolute in our determination to ensure that we do all that is legally available to us to pressure the government to complete the hospital in the shortest possible time and to return the patients, the doctors, the nurses, and all of the staff who are currently at the stadium, who are currently suffering some perilous, very, very perilous times at the stadium, to return them to the original site of the hospital as quickly as possible. I thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Baptiste. Now we shall